What up, guys? Welcome back to another episode today of the My Player Career Mode. Today we have episode number 23 for you all to sit back and enjoy. So as I say, grab yourselves your favourite snack, grab yourselves your favourite drink and come back and get ready to watch Ben in action as you guys have been doing for the past 22 episodes. So today's episode actually is fairly interesting. We're going to be taking on Nice, or Spurs are in general, for this first game here. And as you may or may not know, in terms of the Europa League group stage right now, if they win this game against Nice, they've pretty much qualified as it stands. I mean, the other teams in the group, Club Brugge, of course, there's them, there is Cork City, and there's, of course, Nice. So this one here against Nice, they were on 4 points, Spurs were on 6, and the other two teams, Cork and Club Brugge, were on a single point and then 0. So if Spurs win this one now, that puts them on to 9, with potentially the next team below them still being on 4, meaning that with 3 games after this in the group to go, they should be able to qualify. We'll see if they can do that. I mean, in terms of momentum and stuff, another victory here, I would say, would pretty much, in my opinion, secure them, I guess, a way out of the group stage. Maybe not as winners, but certainly they should at least get out of the group. So that's the team that Nice have got, of course, Balotelli up top. So it's going to be interesting to see if he can have a say in today's game or not. And it was actually Spurs who started off the better of the two teams. 21 minutes into it, Ben on the edge of the area picks it up, lays it off to this right-hand side, gets it back, but luckily for him, it ends up not being quite passed to him as it goes straight past him into Christian Eriksen. Eriksen sends his effort goalwards, and it was actually crossing the line. And Ben, you might see it from this angle a little bit better, tries to actually hit this ball. You'll see it is shocking goalkeeping, shocking defending, all sorts, and just in general, not a nice goal to concede. But then look at this. Keeper makes a save. It's going to be bouncing across the line. Ben's chasing it in to make sure. And as it crosses the line, he then hits it into the back of the net. So what I want you guys to put a comment down below is, what do you think? Was Ben trying to take that one away from Eriksen? Or was he just celebrating by smashing the ball into the back of the net? What did it look like from your perspective is what I'm going to say. For me personally, I looked at that and thought maybe Ben was trying to take that one away from Christian Eriksen if he could do that. But the lead didn't last very long because Mario Balotelli, as I said, was he going to have a say in the game? Well, he did. And it was a very, very good say indeed because he got Nice back on level terms here in literally 10 minutes after they'd taken the lead at Spurs. So yeah, short-lived lead, short-lived, goal there for Eriksen, and now it's back to all square. So, pretty much, back to the way we started in this one. Great finish from Balotelli, though. You have to give him credit for that. Edge of the area, gets a lot of power behind that, and Michel Vorm was not going to get anywhere near that, which, again, is my pet hate. Why are Spurs playing Michel Vorm over Hugo Lloris? We had this with Harry Kane a little bit ago and Vincent Janssen. Now we're going to have it with Vorm and Lloris. I just don't understand it. Lloris is a better goalkeeper. Just play your best players. It makes more sense, Pochettino. However, 36 minutes in, Spurs trying to get themselves back in this game and into the lead, and they managed to do so. Ben with a cross, a right-footed cross, may I add, of course, that 2-star weak foot, towards the back post, and there was Ivan Perisic to nod them into the lead on the 37th minute. So, I guess 3 goals in the space of, 15, 16 minutes in game? And just like that, the game had gone from being 0-0 to Spurs leading by 2-1 here at Wembley. So this is shaping up to be a very, very interesting game indeed. Both teams really up for this, and both teams have their shooting boots on by the look of it. So Perisic, not really known for heading, but he's got us back in the lead with a header. And you have to give credit to Ben, as I say. Whoever gave him a 2-star weak foot might be wrong because he's hit a couple of decent crosses recently with that right foot that's allowed Spurs to get a couple of goals. So, you know, maybe he should have a 3-star minimum weak foot. We'll see if it gets, boosted up in a future episode or not. Into the second half now, and Alderweireld absolutely destroys a Nice player. No idea what he was thinking there, and it arguably maybe could have been a little bit more than a yellow card. But for the skipper, it's just a booking, and it now means that, of course, Nice have a free kick in a decent area. I mean, I don't know why he dived into the tackle like that. The player wasn't really going anywhere for our opponents, and it could have been quite easily defended had he have not dove in, but he did, and it was actually the free kick whipped in from Nice. The header was won. It comes back off of the crossbar, hits Michel Vorm, stays out, and then the man who was making a bursting run to put the rebound in is beaten to it by a Spurs player. No idea how that stayed out. It really, really should have gone in. There was a lot of luck involved in that one for Spurs, and that should have arguably been 2-2 there. So Ben wanted one last attack in the game before the end of it in the 87th minute, and one last attack he got, and that was a sensational goal from the young man. You can see Picks up the ball here, nice little turn on the edge of the area, manages to just about get there ahead of the defender trying to make that tackle, drives the left-footed shot goalwards, and it is into the top corner, kind of. Not completely in the top corner, but still, I don't think the keeper can be blamed for that one. It came with him a lot of pace, and it was always rising high as Ben doing some flips, showing off his acrobatic side, something that DJ Wood never had as part of his game. So, yeah, Ben a little bit more acrobatic, a little bit better on his feet. Technically, maybe he's a better footballer than his uncle, DJ Wood. We'll see if he can live up to the expectations and do as well as his uncle did. But for now, he's enjoying life at Spurs. As I say, that now is 3 wins from 3 in their Europa League group, which should hopefully send them now through to the knockout rounds. Whether or not Ben's going to be risked in the other games, we'll have to see. I mean, when you're pretty much qualified, you don't really want to risk your best players. You know, you don't get anything else unless finishing first or second. Of course, you get a slightly easier draw, or that's theoretically what happens. But I don't think they need to really risk Ben. They could probably still get out of the group as winners without even having to play him. So we'll see if he's played in the future games in that one, but a 3-1 win nonetheless. And unfortunately for Ben, it's again not a man of the match performance, even though he matched the highest rated player on the pitch that was Christian Eriksen at the time. He's done that a couple of times this season. Ben, not quite got man of the match, but unfortunately doesn't get it in this one either. But still, he'll take a 9.2 match rating, he'll take a goal, and he'll take that one there with the assist as well, which is, I guess, the best way you could play in the game. So, moving out of that one, now back into some Premier League football, back at Wembley again. This time it's the visit of Crystal Palace, who, of course, in real life, not really doing too great. But I don't actually know how they're getting on in this current year here in this series, because I haven't looked at the league table in terms of like the mid-table or the bottom half of it, because all I'm focused on right now every time I look at it is actually the top side of the table. So Palace, to their credit, are sat 6th going into this one. I wasn't expecting that. However, they are sat 6th, so they could be quite a tricky game here today. We'll have to see. They're also 3rd on the lowest amount of goals conceded, so yeah, it'd be interesting to see whether or not this game is going to have a lot of chances or not. So the team from Spurs was that on the screen. Eriksen starts alongside Wood again. Of course, Pochettino putting his faith in both of them. Arguably, maybe Eriksen should be starting over Ben, but not the case here. As you can see, Palace's team, 5 at the back. Don't like playing against 5 at the back. They're so annoying to play against. It's just, the games just then get so boring with 5 at the back. If you don't create chances yourself, they don't create any chances either. And it then gets to the point where it's just a stalemate and there's hardly any chance in the game. So I'm hoping that's not going to be the case here, as Ben, 31 minutes in, feeds it across to Eriksen. Eriksen on this right-hand side ends up hitting an effort goalwards, and it comes back off of the woodwork. What a goal that would have been had it have gone in. And then missing the mark, question is going to be asked here. 72 minutes played for Ben, and yet no assist, no goal, no shot. So missing the mark was asked by the commentators, and in the end, Palace go close. 17 minutes from time there. But as I said, 5 at the backs, when you're playing against them, you either get like, if you score, then it becomes slightly easier. But in general, it just becomes such a boring game because nothing really happens until Ben sent through. I think it was Christian Eriksen, or it might have been Shaqiri off the bench for us. And that really should have been 1-0 and the point secured. But sadly for Spurs, the post has denied them twice in the game, and they're only going to get a point from this one overall. So, as I say, I mean, it could have been more if they'd have not hit the post on the 2 occasions they did, but they did hit the post, and Ben not really having the greatest game. As I say to you, though, I really dislike 5 at the backs. They just negate anything you want to do. And I suppose for Palace, they had a game plan coming here, which was to possibly not lose the game with that 5 at the back, and it's worked out for them. They've come away with a point. So, job done from Palace. It's the game plan that they stuck to, and it worked for them. But for Spurs, it was a frustrating afternoon. They only get a point from it. It's a 0-0 draw. They'll have to move forward now and hopefully win in the next one. But 5 at the backs, man, it's either the most boring game you've ever played, or if you get a goal nice and early, then it opens up a little bit more and it can be quite entertaining. So, moving out of that one, though, we have an even more important game to come now. It's the first North London derby that Ben is going to be participating in. I wonder who DJ Wood would be supporting for this one, because remember, of course, it's sort of based off me, is that my player career mode. Therefore, I am, as an Arsenal fan, would be supporting Arsenal, but he's got his nephew, or I've got my nephew playing for Spurs here, so we'll see if which way the support is going to be going, regardless, of course. But it's at Wembley, Arsenal the visitors. Luckily, it's only in the Cup, which has, I guess, 2 different paths you can take with this one. 1, it could be even more important of a game, because whoever wins this knocks the other one out. Or 2, you can kind of think to yourself, wait, it's only the Carabao Cup. Yeah, you might knock us out of this, but if Spurs go on and win the league, who really cares? You know what I'm saying? So there's 2 ways you can go about it. But of course, if you're a fan of either team, you do not want to lose this game here. And another 5 at the back to enjoy this time, courtesy of Arsenal coming to Wembley. So they saw that Palace, it worked for them. Is it going to work for the North London rivals here in this one? We'll wait and find out. 18 minutes on the clock. Ben picks the ball up on the edge of the area, feeds it to Harry Kane. Kane, nice 1-2 before unleashing a strike goalwards that beats David Ospina and makes the score 1-0 to Spurs. Literally 19 minutes into this one, Spurs already finding the breakthrough. Why couldn't they have done this against Palace and that 5 at the back? I don't know, man. It's just frustrating, but to their credit, Harry Kane, nice finish, opens up the scoring, and now Arsenal are going to have to come out and try and attack even with this 5 at the back, which is going to be difficult for them because when you do play 5 at the back, if you go behind, you have to change it up a little bit, the formation-wise, and try and get yourself back in it, which might leave you exposed at a goal to nil down. So for Wenger, frustration. But Harry Kane, he scores, Spurs lead, and Ben was involved. Let's see if Arsenal could mount a comeback in the last 60 minutes or so of this game now, as we move into the 41st minute of it. It is Eriksen picking up the ball on the edge of the Spurs half. Unfortunately, though, they lose out, and it comes to Mesut Ozil, who is, of course, the number 11 for Arsenal, which, of course, Ben is the number 11 for Spurs. So I guess like for like, they're kind of similar players, Ozil and Ben, at the moment. They're both kind of creating chances for their respective teams and stuff. And he ended up hitting his effort straight at the keeper before Heung-min Son, in the second half, makes the score 2-0 to Spurs in the 56th minute. So, I mean, for Arsenal, it was a disappointing game. They really didn't play very well. Spurs controlled the ball pretty well. They got on it when they needed to do and found the right passes. Before that was just a sensational strike, actually, from Heung-min Son to make the score 2-0. A lot of credit has to go to him because that was not an easy chance to actually to put in the back of the net there. So credit to Heung-min Son. But as I said, for Arsenal, they played disappointingly. They were never really in the game. The 5 at the back negated a lot of the stuff that they probably could have done. And I just don't like 5 at the backs. They're just so boring to play and to play against. It's just not worth it, in my opinion. They don't create enough chances. So with about, I'd say, 28 minutes to go here, Ben does get himself on the score sheet. And also, he does celebrate for all the Spurs fans out there. They'll be thinking, is he going to celebrate with the ties that he's got to his uncle? But he does. He ends up celebrating against Arsenal in the North London rivalry. That is Tottenham v Arsenal in the first time of this series. And his first time in his career, actually, that he's played in this. So it's a better way to start it by playing at home at Wembley rather than it is to play at the Emirates. Because I'm sure the atmosphere for Ben would have been a lot worse if this had been at the Emirates. But regardless, it's 3-0 Spurs. They've totally dominated the game. They've come away with the victory and will be knocking out Arsenal of the Carabao Cup. So they've done the job today at Wembley, and that was the way the game ended. So for Arsenal, again, disappointing. They weren't good enough. They were shocking all day long. Wenger really needs to think about his tactics after that one there. The 5 at the back may have worked for Palace, but the truth is Palace came here and arguably maybe got a little bit lucky. Maybe they could have gone away with a defeat just as much as they could have possibly gone away with a win if they'd have scored that other chance, Palace. So Arsenal really should have looked at that, thought, you know what, we need to take the game to Spurs. They didn't do that. They sat back, invited the pressure on, and there's only so much you can take when you've got Ben in the side alongside the Eriksen and Harry Kane. So for Arsenal, I thought their tactics were wrong, and that is the reason why they are now out of the Carabao Cup and Spurs move on. But we have the last game to come of today, guys, which is going to be back in the Premier League, hoping for a victory. As I say, Spurs need to get back to winning ways, and it would be nice to do it against Swansea City here at the Liberty Stadium. Now, if you watched one of the previous career mode videos, guys, I did say that Swansea in this year's game are kind of my kryptonite. I struggled to score against them at Liberty Stadium. I don't know why. So I'm hoping it's not going to be a similar situation here for Ben and Spurs. As you can see, the Swansea team actually had a few very good players in it. They had Van Persie playing at Cam, who arguably, in terms of a striker, I don't think he's got it anymore, but I know he's lost his pace, but technically, I think he would still be very, very good for a Cam. So maybe one to watch here at the Liberty Stadium. Can he do the business for Swansea, or is he going to fall short as a Cam, and is Ben going to steal the show? And it was actually Ben with the first chance. Dinks the goalkeeper, sends it to the area, asking Harry Kane to get something on it. And sadly, the Swansea defender, does better than the Spurs attacker and manages to just about do his job and clear the ball before Ayew sends through Britton, who really should make the score 1-0. Spurs should be a goal down here. No idea how. Britton doesn't find the target there. He's got to at least hit the target and test the goalkeeper for me, but he doesn't. And now we move into the second half before Sissoko feeds Ben backwards. It comes to Harry Kane. And Fabianski, I don't know how much he knew about that save, but he made the save regardless, and major credit goes to him for that, because again, much like the Britain shot, in my opinion, Harry Kane should do better and possibly should score that. And then from the corner, Son whips it in, free header from Sissoko, I think it was, or it might be Sanchez, one of the two of them. It was actually Sanchez, and it ends up going goal-bound before being cleared off of the line. Now, 74 minutes into it, Sissoko on this right-hand side whips a cross in. Spurs doing everything they can to try and find an opener here, but this looks like it might be a frustrating afternoon again, very much like it was against Palace. So Spurs not quite with their shooting boots on right now, and there's 15 minutes left of this game, and we're moving into the last two now before Ben ends up with the ball at his feet. I don't quite know how he managed to do this, because Swansea had a couple of chances to clear that, and they didn't do. He sent through Sissoko, and of course, with a minute left to play, in fact, there wasn't even a minute left to play, we're into 90 minutes now, and there's added time. Sissoko has just scored the goal, which quite possibly could give Spurs all 3 points from Liberty Stadium here. This could be a vital, vital goal in Spurs' quest to try and win the title here in this Premier League season. So for Spurs, for Ben and Sissoko, it was jubilation, but for Swansea, it was heartbreak. They thought they'd done enough to get at least a point from this one. They saw Palace and were like, you know what? We can do the same with a different formation. They very nearly did, until Ben found that pass through that opened the defence and Sissoko applied the finish. So 3 points. It is back to winning ways for Spurs. They do get the victory here. And, of course, that does mean that they should be okay in the league. But that's going to be where we end today's episode off, guys. If you have enjoyed it, a like, rate, and greatly appreciated. Thank you for your continued support on the channel. I really do appreciate it. I will see you all again at 4 p.m. UK time tomorrow, guys, for another video. No double upload tonight. Been really busy IRL and not feeling too great recently. But, yeah, we'll see you all again from 4 p.m, guys. Make sure you stay tuned, guys. You don't want to miss it. And My Player Career Mode will be back, hopefully, either tomorrow or the day after that, guys. Catch you all then. Adios.